So finally here, we're going to talk a little bit about just kind of like some updates as to how I'm doing in class and stuff, which there's not really, honestly, a ton to discuss. Because MGC is next week, I wanted to make sure that my homework was completely clear and taken care of so that I didn't have to worry about doing any homework, while I was trying to enjoy myself and visit with friends that I haven't seen in at least a year. So I finished up the last of my sociology homework for the week. I actually did that just before firing up the show here. So I'm still holding a really high percentage, at least thus far in my sociology class. I think I'm at around a 98 or 99%, which is awesome. I am really pleased with that. There is an assignment, a paper that I wrote yesterday that still needs grading, so who knows, maybe that might, I don't know, drop the grade a little bit, but as long as I'm above 90%, I'm okay with it. And the instructor has an extra credit opportunity coming up either in the next week or two, and I'll probably be doing that because for me, there is no such thing as, getting that grade as high as you can, whether it's, whether you're going from trying to improve, like say a C plus. If you can improve a C plus, that could turn it into a B minus, which then could improve to a B, which then could, go on all the way up to an A plus if you want. But that is just for me. Like I also like to be prepared in case, like if any of you have been following since the early days of the show, last year, you might remember that I didn't do as well in my math class. And part of that was because I didn't plan accordingly. And I ended up kind of screwing up really bad on one of my tests. And that ended up dropping my grade from an A to a B, which isn't the end of the world. But it was a learning experience in which, from now on, regardless of the class, doesn't matter if it's math or English or whatever, I always want to make sure that I'm achieving as many points possible in the event that I have something like a bad test. And I mean, in my sociology class, I do have quizzes every week and I have exams like every 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. And then I have assignments as well. Those are papers that are graded. So, I mean, there's still plenty that could, cause my grade to drop. So any opportunity that I have to earn more points, I'm gonna take. And I mean, that's what everyone should do, because that's how you're gonna get the best grade possible. So, excuse me. So, like, for example, I think I'm doing okay in my history class. I didn't look at we just had midterms probably a week or two ago, and I know my instructor posted like whatever grade we had at that moment, but I haven't looked at the to see what the grade was. So I don't know. I think I'm holding around an A at least. It might be a B. But I do know that there was an opportunity for extra credit in that class as well, which I went to a bookstore where a friend of my instructor was doing I think he was presenting a revision of a book he wrote. And it was just an hour long, but the book was discussing like North Africa, and pretty much it was just a book about North Africa and like just all the things that have happened there. It essentially turned into like an hour-long history lesson about North Africa. I mean, I was almost overwhelmed by all the information that I got in just that hour. I mean, he's also a professor at Marquette University, so he's probably used to doing this kind of stuff. But it was like easy extra credit. All I had to do was just show up, and obviously not be like an ass or anything, just kind of sit there, pay attention. I didn't even have to. I asked him afterwards. I said, "Do you want us to like write a paper or something about that?" He's like, No. I just wanted you to be there and obviously stay for the whole thing. It's not like I could have just been like, "Hi, I'm here," and then just leave. that obviously wouldn't have counted. But like that extra credit, I don't know how much it was worth, like how many points, but at the very least, it will ensure that my like kind of so-so scores on the tests that we've had thus far are now up to the maximum amount of points. So, if we're adding all that together, including all the other assignments that we had to do, I should be at an A. But again, like I said, I will take any opportunity to get extra credit. And I mean, I'll probably check in with him in a few weeks to see, where my grade stands. And if so, he allows, us to do extra credit papers and things like that on other subjects, as long as they're related to the initial subject matter, which is our U.S. history. So, I may do that. It all depends. But all I care about is that as long as they're giving me opportunities to earn an A, because that's what I want. I want an A. I'm going to take it. I will always jump at the chance to keep that grade up there, because my goal is to graduate as close to a 4.0 as I can. And, as I've said a couple times, I'm holding right now at a 3.875. And I think with the, if I end this semester with these two classes, both having A's, that should bump me up to like a 3.9 something. I don't know what exactly it'll be, but that's just the trend that I want to keep going with. So, that's all I really got. I did finally get a lot of good core work done on that research paper. We just had to turn in our bibliography last week, but I decided just to start writing, and now I've already got half of it done. So, depending on how I'm feeling during the week, I may try to finish up like the initial writing of it, and then get all the details sorted out so that when it comes time to turn in our rough draft, which will probably be in a few weeks, then I'll just be that farther ahead. That's always the goal, is just to stay ahead and make sure that you're not going to, because if you stay ahead, then it's harder to fall behind. That's just kind of how I look at it. So finally, man, I am looking at the time. This is going to be a really, really short show. But we're already nearing the end here. So just looking at my agenda here finally, there are a couple videos. Well, there's a number of videos that I want to do in addition to proper episodes. It's just been kind of more of a time constraint. Like I said, my weekends are getting booked up with these events coming up and stuff. And I still have that trip to Madison at some point that's going to happen. I don't know when. It's like the last tentative date was supposed to be around the 25th of April, and I think now it's getting rescheduled. So I don't know. It's going to happen at some point maybe. And I mean, it might not happen at all, because my friend's now thinking of not going, and I don't really know if I want to go if he's not going. It's a whole debate. But my schedule is getting filled up with more social events, which is fine. I mean, it's all part of the college experience. I mean, granted, not all of it's related to college, but going to like the things for extra credit. Not only am I doing it for the extra credit, but I'm doing it to kind of get out. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I spent so many years, in Oregon before I moved to Wisconsin, just sitting in my apartment and doing nothing, just maybe watching movies, playing video games and stuff, which, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was, I don't know. I felt like I could have been doing something a little bit more productive. So, I just make it a point to try and get out more. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. So there's a number of videos that I still want to do, in relation to other topics of the show, especially having to do with Japanese, because this is the road to Japan. And one of them is going to be an app I have come across. It's called iknow.jp. I'm not going to go into super detail about it right now, but it's in my opinion, it's a really great app for helping you to learn not just Japanese. And I should say, excuse me, as I always say, that this is not going to be the end all be all to learn Japanese. It's not going to be able to start you from zero and make you 100% fluent by the time you're done. This has to be used in conjunction with other resources and methods that in combination will allow you to become fluent. But this is a great resource to learn kanji, especially the reading, just in the ways that they format their software. What's also great is that it also synchronizes with an app that you can use on your phone or tablet. So, you don't necessarily have to do all of it at home. You can do it on the go as well. But like I said, I'm not going to really go into detail about it because I want to do a video actually showing it in action and kind of being able to explain things as I'm, kind of working through it. So that's in the works. I have no idea when I'm going to be able to get around to doing it. Especially since, it's on the stack of videos that I already want to make. So it's just a matter of when I'm going to be able to get around to doing it. But be on the lookout for that because it should be coming in the next couple of weeks. And as I keep mentioning, I do still want to, I'm still getting research done for the Teach Learn series having to do with kanji. As I said, that's probably going to turn into a summer project when I'm not having to worry about school. So I at least want to use more of that free time to get everything established so that when I do go back to class that it might be easier to knock out episodes about kanji because I've already got the format and all that straightened out. At least that's the goal. So, I can't really make any solid promises at this point, but that's kind of what I'm working towards. The only other thing I want to mention is that I also did a video last week. While I didn't do a proper episode, it was a video that I felt was very important. So if you look at the YouTube channel, you should see a video preceding this one talking about how the video is important to watch if you're planning on becoming a teacher in Japan, because it actually talks about this. The video comes from another YouTuber. So the source material is not actually from me. I just do a quick intro, kind of setting the scene, if you will. And then the actual video itself is done by another YouTuber. Goes by the name of Unrested on YouTube. And he talks about this poor guy and his story working with this one school in Japan and just the horrible things that they ultimately got away with doing to this poor guy. Like they didn't pay him for the first 2 months that he was working for them. And they also controlled his living situation. So like they were providing him the apartment to live in. So he was kind of locked into this situation. And then even when they did start paying him, they still only paid him like 70% or something of his pay because they were making up things to pull out money for, like insurance and, basically just BS expenses. But I'm not gonna go into detail about it. But this gentleman Unrested was brave enough to talk about the school, including the school's name and stuff like that. And the reason I say brave is because he resides in Japan, and the laws over there make it so that the school could actually force him to take the video down. And I mean, if it escalates further, there could be even more ramifications to perhaps even lead to a lawsuit or something like that. So one way that we are able to help is that we are able to rip the video and then repost it on our channels, because folks like me, we're based in the States still. So that the whole, take the video down thing doesn't necessarily apply to us. And, I mean, as someone that's planning on at least starting out, my time in Japan as a teacher, this is really important. And I mean, a lot of people that want to start their lives in Japan, whether it's, just for a year or the next 10 years or the rest of their lives, you know, it usually starts with teaching. Not always, but a lot of times it starts with teaching. And to think that there's a school out there that's actually successfully screwing people over is just completely unacceptable. So we need to do our part to do our research and make sure that we are not falling into the traps of these just scumbag schools. And just make sure that the word is spread when one of these schools is found out to be doing this kind of stuff, because we cannot allow this to continue on. I mean, that poor guy. I don't know the full story and, you know, what's happened since then. I think he at least got out of that situation. I don't know. But you know, we need to do our part to make sure that this school either discontinues those business practices or just is completely shut down altogether. Both by, you know, teachers not wanting to work there, and hopefully parents not encouraging this type of business by allowing their children or spouse or whatever to attend as a student. It's just unacceptable. We cannot allow this to go on. So anyway, I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. So look for that video on the channel, you know, especially if you're planning on being a teacher at some point in Japan, or even in any other, you know, country. It doesn't necessarily have to be Japan, because I can't imagine that it's only Japan schools that are doing something like this. I'm sure there's probably a school or two or more, hopefully not, but there could be a number of them out in other countries where folks like us want to, you know, go over and teach English. So I just wanted to, you know, make you guys aware of that. So look for the video and check that out if you're so interested. So the last thing before I wrap up here is that a friend of mine told me that he was able to find the show on the Zune Marketplace, or whatever the hell Microsoft is calling it now. I don't know if they still call it Zune. But early, like in the very early days of the show, I submitted the show to Zune or Xbox or whatever it is now. I don't know. But he said that the show finally popped up one day and he was able to download and subscribe to episodes and things like that. But he mentioned something that was a little odd, that it only goes as far back as episode 7. Now, I don't know if that means that there's a episode limitation on the feed itself with having to do with it. Like they only will provide the last or most recent 8 or 10 episodes or something like that. Or for some reason, they only are getting episodes 7 and beyond. I don't know. I tried looking it up before recording today, and I actually couldn't find it. I still can't find the show, at least on my Zune application. So I'm just going to have to take his word for it. He was basing this off of finding it on his Windows 8 phone. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. If you out there have a Windows phone and are able to find the show, please let me know. Because then I can at least try and provide proper information. But supposedly the show is available on that marketplace. So look for it, subscribe to it. I assume you can review it. Go ahead and review it. You know, even if you think it's crap, you think the show is crap, rate it accordingly. But anyway, that's pretty much gonna do it. I'm looking at the time and it's only showing 40 minutes, so I completely blitzed through that agenda. But hopefully there'll be more content coming up. More than likely the shows are a little shorter because of the fact that I'm only doing 2 classes now, so there's not really much to talk about. But I have more videos in the works. It's just a matter of finding the time to do them. But as I said, next week is MGC. In about a month or so will be Anime Central, and I plan on bringing the camera with me for those events. So definitely be on the lookout in the next coming weeks and months for footage from those events. But for now, this is Session 2, Episode 7 of The Road to Japan. My name is Nico, and I'll catch you guys next time. Minasan, ganbatte.